Back before anime was available on every major streaming service or even just for next day delivery with Amazon Prime, many anime fans, new and old, had to scour the depths of video sharing platforms such as YouTube to find their 12-episode anime available in 5 parts per episode. If you got into Vocaloid 10 or so years ago, you very likely came across the rabbit hole of Vocaloid fan-made MMDs. And of course, in all fandoms, it's been pretty commonplace to create supply to meet demand. Whether that be the creation of things like AO3, or making fan-made teasers and trailers for series and movies that fans want to see come to life. But long gone are the earnest days of the Miku MMDs, and instead fans are fulfilling their dreams of big budget anime adaptations through the use of generative AI. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to researching for my videos, I can sometimes end up on the more seedy, dodgy parts of the internet. It can be a little bit rough out there. And obviously, I like to know that my browser has my back and is protecting me as I search. No longer do I need to worry about adverts ruining my experience, or even just protecting my online data. Because today's sponsor, Opera GX, is built for internet lovers and lurkers. Opera GX is a fully customizable browser, meaning that you can tailor your experience to best fit your browsing or play style. And sure, it does your basic bits like custom wallpapers, but it also does a lot more. The GX store is full of free mods that are there to enhance your experience, whether that be changing the background to a cool animation, having relaxing audio playing as you search, and even just changing the sound of your keyboard. Cyberpunk cities, lo-fi anime, and even popular co-op games such as Yap Yap. They're all on the GX store for free. And the mods are free and super easy to install, meaning that your browsing is actually an extension of your personal taste and style. And you can also use their free inbuilt VPN and ad blocker to stop the noise of unwanted slop, as well as keeping you covered as you browse and consume content and media from all over the world from your home. And of course, keeping you safe whilst you do it. And if you do fall in love with their free VPN, then you can choose to upgrade to VPN Pro. With over 3,000 servers in 30 different countries, you can switch your location to best access the content that you want to see on up to 6 different devices. Because it's also available as an app, so you can use it on your phone too. Honestly, I never used to think much about how I engaged with the internet, especially using my personal devices until recently. With the internet once again coming full circle and becoming the Wild West, keep your searches secure, your data private, and your experience fun. So go and make sure that you check out the download link in the description and pinned comment, and a big thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the video. Like I said before, fans creating their own trailers or even music videos is nothing new. Nightcore thrived on using anime eroge artwork, anime AMVs lived rent-free in many tweens' heads, and cosplayers even dressed up as their favorite characters to create fan-made series. I swear, nothing really charms me more than visiting the over decade-old cosplay videos where people are putting on their tangled Miku wig and either going out into their garden or their local bit of greenery in order to film music videos and different like fun series, crossover episodes where like Yagami is holding hands with Luca and gets caught by Kato. All of these fun, strange little crossovers and genuinely sincere expressions of fandom always warm my heart. I love looking back on these things because I think it is such a fun little time capsule. And it's also a reminder of an era that didn't really care about being seen as cringe or how canon you would look. A lot of people didn't even style their wigs anywhere near to the same degree that you see the average cosplayer doing now. So it really is just a different time. And of course, the cultural impact of abridged anime series such as Code Mint, 50% Free, and the Dragon Ball series by Team 4-Star cannot be understated.
Together, we shall take over the Bee Kingdom! Yay, hooray, bee friend, hooray!
Oh my god, a bee!
Jasper, no, leave them alone!
Kill it! Ah! Let's run away! Ah! Smack attack!
No, Jasper! Why?
If he makes me late again, I am gonna give him such a tongue lashing. There's gotta be a better phrase for that. Morning, Miss Tamura.
Good morning, Makoto. Here, you can take this to your boyfriend.
He's not my boyfriend.
You're not fooling anyone, dear.
It sounds illegal, but...
What's up, sluts? Guess who just got out of prison?
Sluts?
Prison?
Uh-huh.
Nagisa?
Protect queer art. Definitely, this is queer art. 100%. Fans have always found creative ways to build on limited, if not non-existent content, even creating trailers so convincing that they actually have viewership to rival genuine studio releases. Parody trailers like 50 Shades of Buscemi or 50 Shades of Tubby, racking up millions upon millions of views, and obviously just, again, living rent-free in a lot of people's heads when they saw it come out for the first time. 50 Shades of Buscemi, mint. That was mint. And I think online content like this was a genuine source of inspiration for many current and wannabe content creators, editors, filmmakers. Throughout time, I think a lot of us looked at these edits and thought, oh my god, like I want to do that. I want to learn how to do it. It was a big inspiration to get into video making. And works like this are a testament to the dedication that even the quietest and deadest of fandoms can have to their source material. We love to see it. But since the public availability of generative AI, fans and even just YouTube slop channels have now begun to recreate this rite of passage using solely AI technology. No longer are the weebs heading out into the wild, going into their local town center, being called a goth by random teenagers, and obviously filming videos and having fun with their mates. Instead, people are turning to algorithms to generate their ideal anime trailer, their ideal anime movie. And if you're at all familiar with me, you're probably aware of the fact that I am not a fan of generative AI, not its biggest supporter, hands in the air. I'll admit that. It's just something that in my opinion has been a consistent net negative. Environmental impact, community displacement, and the rise of deepfake AI advertising and even harmful material towards women and children and people online. Things I have covered and mentioned in other videos, and I think that we should keep in mind before we run to ChatGPT to try and do our work or our homework. But I did decide to give these trailers a fair shake. Actually sit down and watch them with a somewhat open mind as I can. Obviously I am biased, I can't lie, I am biased, but I try to sit down and watch them fresh, no illusions going in, and give my honest thoughts. And needless to say, I was not impressed at all, and it quite literally met my very low expectations. Oh, look, there's a colossal titan. There he is, he's got a little tuft of bum fluff on the top of his head. That's cute. Oh look, it's Mikasa Ackerman. There she is. And her boobs are barely contained in that shirt. Cool. Yeah, mint. That's totally... Why are her swords on fire? Oh look, Hanji. Again, massive boobs. Oh look, Ymir. Once again, massive boobs. Oh look, more boobs. Oh my fuck, Annie Leonhardt, massive boobs. What is this? We're destroying the planet for this, by the way. Concept trailer. Concept trailer.
I lost everything that night, but I never lost the way you looked at me. Now, with the waves behind us and time ahead, let's start again.
He still have a 25-year-old girlfriend too. What is happening?
We sank with that ship.
Why is he aging so quick? Between getting on that boat and standing here, man has aged an additional, what, 10 years? Okay. Bro, what happened? We playtime live action trailer. Go on then.
I should
What
have
is
listened
this?
to that feeling when we turned onto this road.
Is that gonna be up? We should have listened to this feeling when I turned onto that road.
Won't give up on Sasuke. No.
I won't give up on Sasuke. Do you hear that? Oh my fucking...
Won't give up on Sasuke.
What? 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 Me trying to meet the word count when I'm doing a fucking essay. What about this? One Punch Man. I think this is the same channel.
I lost everything in a single moment. Erased by a power.
Jason Statham as One Punch Man. My nightmare blunt rotation. Okay. Now to start, I will give these trailers a little bit of grace. They don't deserve it, but I will give them some grace because otherwise I would be completely unfair. These trailers and their thumbnails can look very impressive at a first glance. The thumbnail stills and opening shots often emulate that of high quality, big budget Hollywood CGI. In some instances, they're not too dissimilar to Netflix teaser imagery, but that's only because the demands of the AI aren't that for dynamic movement, speech between characters, and storytelling. In all of the over 40 different trailers that I watched for my Patreon video, as well as for researching for this video, I noticed how they all almost exclusively used semi-static shots. At best, you might get some artificial dolly movement that completely goes against the actual movement of the character on screen. So there was one which was a Huggy Wuggy trailer, like a Poppy's Playtime trailer. Obviously this isn't anime, but this was a good example of like animation issues where they were zooming in on this vent that Huggy Wuggy was crawling out of, but he's moving backwards despite crawling forwards. That was the most dynamic shot and movement that I saw in any of the trailers. And at worst, you would see people's hair billowing in the breeze, becoming unreasonably long and then much shorter, with strands breaking off and disappearing into the ether. There was no consistency with the very minimal movement that the AI was required to do. And again, almost always the character on screen was just staring down at the camera. They were always pretty much just looking exclusively at the camera. These trailers or teasers really just come off more as somebody trying to see what their favorite character or series would look like if put through an AI engine. They don't actually give any storytelling or narrative whatsoever. They are not a trailer of jack shit. And if you do want to see what your favorite anime character might look like if they were put into real life, cosplayers have been doing that for literal decades. Go and look at my reposts. I can guarantee you'll find some fantastic cosplayers to go and follow if you're wanting to see a cool live action adaptation of Rengoku or somebody that you really, really like. These shitty talking headshots do literally nothing in the 3 to 5 second segments that they're shown on screen. They don't do anything. They don't convey any sense of story or character or narrative. And even better yet, we can also find these weird AI uncanny valley deepfakes of popular celebrities playing these characters. Tom Holland was one specific actor that I saw crop up a lot, and Jason Statham was also another guy who was consistently used for all of the bald characters in stuff like One Punch Man. And I can only assume that these trailers deepfake these celebrities in order to better work in the algorithm and to try and better convince people who are just browsing through to click on the video and give some level of visual authenticity in the thumbnail. But of course, co-opting somebody else's face to use in an undisclosed AI trailer for a non-existent piece of media is a bit dicey at best, regardless of how famous or successful these people might be. And speaking of which, the undisclosed thing bothers me a lot here too. Although you can sometimes find tags such as made with AI buried in the description, often the thumbnails and titles are actively designed to deceive you, using stuff like teaser trailer, new trailer, 2026 starring Tom Holland. They never ever seem to disclose the fact that it is an AI trailer in any part of the title. It's just trying to deceive you that it isn't just some lazier, sloppier version of a pre-existing fandom tradition. And mind you, these AI anime channels aren't small potatoes either. One that I came across whilst I was losing my mind trawling through these trailers is one called Ultimate Studios. Sitting at over 500,000 subscribers, the page seemed to originally start as a fairly earnest way of doing anime, film, and music reviews, but has now only exploded in popularity due to their very obvious pivot towards AI-generated slop. What's that oldest video? Latest, oldest. Okay, so he used to do video reviews. Right, we've gone back now, deep cut. Years ago, 4 years ago, this guy, who assumingly runs this channel, does movie reviews. Okay.
This movie came out fairly recently, and I didn't actually expect that I would like it that much.
Okay, so this guy just used to do music reviews and video reviews and stuff. Gundam movie review, Trading Places movie review, music movie review, Indiana Jones. Okay. That's fine. Best alien movie, The Thing. Cool, I agree. I love The Thing. Like, sure, are these the best reviews ever? Fuck no. They're not the best reviews ever. But, like, they're fine. I feel like everybody has an era of this, you know? Like, everybody does videos like this when they first start out, even if they're not public anymore. I did videos when I first started out like this. Like, this is fine.
We are going to talk about a movie which was released back in 1995. It is an ancient...
Hold on a fucking minute. Sadly, anything sincere about this channel seemed to die off a good few years ago. Which again is a real shame, considering that the two guys that seem to be behind this channel obviously have a love in some capacity of cinema and movies and can understand how much of a process those things can take. But I suppose the call of money and popularity was just too loud to ignore. Okay, so update. I went out to go see Kikuo, and then I had a buzzball beforehand, mind you. I had a buzzball, went to Kikuo, and then I stayed out, and I've had like 7 drinks, maybe more. I've had quite a lot, I can't lie. I don't think I bought any of them apart from maybe one. That was mint. Don't turn down free drinks. Don't be silly, apart from if they're from men, then be wary. I've been out in the gay village till like 3, it's 3:30 now. I'm gonna go have a shower, go to bed, have some water. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and finish this video. And with the power of editing, it's like I was never gone, apart from the fact that you're seeing this clip, which everyone else that I was going out with have just disappeared to bed immediately. They were meant to be here being like, way. I'm gonna give up as well because I'm fucking tired. So I'm gonna go to bed and I'll see you with the power of editing in a minute. Boom. And it is the next day and we are back and I am clean and sober once more. I have returned. But I guess the scary or uncomfortable thing about this particular channel, Ultimate Studios, is that they release around 4 AI generated trailers every single day. At the time of writing this, I can see a Hotel Transylvania trailer featuring Keanu Reeves and Tom Holland, I Am Legend 2, Iron Man 4, where apparently Iron Man's alive again, and John Wick Chapter 5. Mind you, all of these being posted around 3 hours apart. Sure, most of these trailers do just die in the water at under 10k views each, but it takes just one good video a day or even a week to quite easily earn a good amount of livable AdSense revenue. 6 days ago, their Venom 4 trailer reached just under 1 million views, and 24 hours before that, their Grey Hulk trailer reached just under 800,000 views. This channel is pulling in millions upon millions of views every single week on YouTube. And according to Social Blade, a rough estimate of that AdSense revenue could be as high as $50,000 per month earned for doing literally all. And when you filter their videos to the most popular, within the top 10 we have 3 anime ones. Solo Leveling at 3 million, Naruto at 3 million, and Dragon Ball Z at 3.9 million. And the thing is, it's fairly evident as well from these trailers and their other trailers that they're not a fan of the things they're making these trailers for. They are not in fact desperate to have a Titanic 2 or a live action's Poppy Playtime. They don't care if Dragon Ball Z gets a live action movie. Let's be quite clear, I think we learnt our lesson with the actual live action that we got. No, this channel is solely focused on scraping the bottom of the barrel for any possible IP ideas that they can peddle to fans who are maybe unsuspecting or just naive in order to gain easy money. Like, it really is just a content farm. Again, in a similar vein to the AI drama channels, the AI commentary channels, and AI art channels. It's just slop for the sake of slop. And this is another issue with these AI trailers outside of the fact that they're AI. They're not done with any love. Obviously, admiring something isn't a justification for art theft or using AI or whatever else, but you can at least understand it more when maybe a 14 or 15-year-old is using AI, a software that they are growing up with, to create something that they feel passionate about. There are plenty of kids on TikTok and on social media who use things like Gacha Life to create their own AUs and their own characters and their own alternative endings to series that they love. And shit, when I was a kid, there was that animation software that I think you could use for free through YouTube, like Go Animate or something, and I remember all of those crazy videos. They kind of had that like Family Guy-esque art style, and loads of people would use them to make meme videos. They'd use them to recreate stuff and make their own series. That was a tool that I had growing up when it came to animation without having to actually learn the skill of animation. It's kind of the same thing growing up with AI now in the minds of people who are growing up with it. Again, that doesn't justify it, but you could understand it more if it's a kid or a teenager doing it. But again, these AI trailers, especially the ones that are performing well, aren't being made by fans, aren't being made by these naive, imaginary teenagers or young new gen fans. Even these original AI created anime series are just another faceless way of shilling you AI slop under the guise of creating your own amazing anime animation, an outlet for companies to sell you a creative shortcut. A trailer called Deadlink by the channel Film Crux is entirely made with AI, taking very obvious and heavy inspiration from cyberpunk and older retro animes such as Cowboy Bebop, Akira, Ghost in Shell, Edge Runners. Basically anything that is set in a Neo-Tokyo setting but with the grunge of an older, almost 80s aesthetic. I also do find it very entertaining that Film Crux's channel's motto is make better films when they don't make anything themselves. That's crazy work, that's wild work. Especially when your trailer looks as cooked and as incoherent as this.
You know what my turn's on, Mr. Let's drop the act.
What? What?
Well, shit.
You know what my turn's on, Mr. Let's drop the act and get to business, shall we?
I don't understand. What is she saying?
You know what my turn's on, Mr.
You know what my turn's on, mister.
Let's drop the act and get to business, shall we?
Now let's drop the act and get to business, shall we?
You know what my turn's on, Mr. Let's drop the act and get to business, shall we?
What? Deadlink is just this soulless nothing burger collection of random voice lines and static scenery. If this was a live action trailer or hand-drawn animated trailer, it would still be bad because there is no storytelling or creativity behind it. It is a terrible trailer even outside of the AI. It doesn't tell a story, no hint of a story. The voice lines and communication between the characters is incoherent. I don't know what the plot is. You're making it sound like they're going on a mission, but but you don't say what their mission is. You don't have a voiceover or any context to the world that we're in. It's not this teaser trailer where we're like, ooh, I wonder what's gonna happen. No, I'm just there like, what the fuck is going on? You've got incoherent voice lines made with AI that don't match the rest of the thing. You've just got loads and loads of random characters staring at the camera while music's going whoa, like that. And then they're like, yeah, mission achieved. What does that mean? And the music as well, I'm almost certain it's probably not actual music. Like, I don't think it's human-made music. And if it is, it's probably royalty-free music. It is very, very basic thrumming, like futuristic, it's like, woo, like that. It's like the kind of. Also, the audacity to credit a director when there is literally nothing or no one to direct is wild work. If you are Leon L. Alton, who is apparently the director of this short, can you actually leave a comment down below and tell me what you directed? Like, what did you direct here? Because I don't see any sound direction, art direction, directing actors, voice actors. I don't see anything to direct. I fear calling yourself a director is pretty shallow when you could literally remake that whole trailer by using the same AI generated scenery and just putting it into Movie Maker. Directing who? And if you're wondering why I sound so bothered about the trailer thing, it's literally because when I went to uni, I fell in love with the idea of doing trailers. I actually didn't want to be a film director anymore because I did film for like ages. I did it in college. And I was like, oh, I want to be a director. I want to be a director. Everybody wants to be a director. Red flag. Don't be a director. Also, if you're doing a film course, I'm going to tell you now, consistent thing I've learned is that the people who do sound and lighting rigging are the most chill people you ever meet. Sound technicians are mint. Lighting technicians are mint. People, the boom mic guys, underrated. Love those guys. But you usually want to get into directing when you first fall in love with film. Maybe cinematography. Those are the two things that everybody wants to do. And I wanted to do them too because I am part of the sheeple. However, when I went to uni, I ended up falling in love with editing a lot more. Loving editing, the idea of trailer making especially, because I think trailers are such a powerful tool when it comes to storytelling, because that's what gets people in the cinema. Good trailers make money. They are essential. And you can tell when a trailer is bad because it's so obvious. And I love the idea of trailer making. I still thoroughly enjoy seeing a good trailer in the cinema. I love being there for the cinema trailers. I am seated, food in hand, ready to watch the trailers. And so that's kind of part of the reason why I'm like so bothered about how shit these are outside of the AI factor, because they're just so lazy. There is no love of even editing in there. It is the most simple, basic, bottom of the barrel editing. I see better editing on Slime Rant videos on TikTok. When Slime Rant teenagers are doing better edits than all of these people who are using AI.
The Epstein files.
Absolutely insane. But again, it's important to remember that AI is quite literally stealing jobs from artists, like real human artists. It is becoming a very convenient way of brands skimping out on paying real people, whether that be voice actors, artists, editors, filmmakers, graphic designers, to create things and instead keep their overhead cost low and their profits higher.
I lost my job to AI.
Hi, I'm Josh. I've been a voiceover for 10 years and I also wrote and produced ads and jingles for radio. Until... yes,
I lost my job to AI.
And I actually saw this great video on TikTok, which is basically a guy pointing out very rightly that every single thing that you see with your two eyes, near enough, is made by a human, designed by a human. The house that you're in was made by architects. It was built by people in construction. It was handmade by humans. It was hand designed and modeled by humans. The safety checks are done by humans. The plumbing, the wiring, the electrics, all of that done by humans. When you look at a logo on a piece of food, everything has been designed by a graphic artist. Even the nutritional information is done by a graphic artist. Like, it is insane how much we go through life and don't realize all of it is constructed by humans. We literally created alphabets and languages, and it's crazy to think that now we're starting to see less and less things made by humans. We're now just starting to see things in daily life created by robots and created by algorithms. And that's kind of crazy because we've done pretty good, I'd say, all this time without needing to rely on that. And anime especially is a medium, whether you love it or hate it, that is entirely made off the backs of incredibly talented storytellers, artists and animators. And of course, Studio Ghibli quite literally changed the way that Western cinema looked at anime and actually made anime and kawaii culture to quite a large degree so much more fashionable and accessible in the West. Studio Ghibli has done so much for the animation industry. And nowadays you can't go into a lot of mainstream stores without seeing a Junji Ito collaboration. You can get Junji Ito Christmas sweaters, you can get Junji Ito notebooks for school. All of this stuff comes from a man who spends upwards of 8 hours per panel on his manga. If games like Katawa Shoujo can exist, where quite literally a bunch of internet strangers got inspired by artistic concepts of these girls with disabilities being in a visual novel kind of dating sim, and can come together as strangers on the internet to spend years building this visual novel, bringing it to life, designing the characters, doing the voice acting, all voluntarily, and can make a really great game. Katawa Shoujo came out when I was like a teenager, and I remember people in school talking about it. And the fact that that came from a bunch of people who are passionate about making this thing is so cool. Again, they didn't need AI to do it. They just came together, a bunch of artists, a bunch of designers, people who can do coding, all just came together and said like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do this. Like, I want to make a collaborative project. Let's do it. Let's bring this to life. And again, that's kind of what I find crazy, is that we forget that other artists have the same urgent desire to just make shit that we do. And we forget that we can just, with the power of the internet, communicate with them and start to build these kind of little bridges amongst each other, do collaborations, work with each other for free on projects and do exchanges. A bartering system of creativity. It goes to show that AI is just simply not a shortcut to success or fame. It is a farce. It feels like a genuine travesty to see Studio Ghibli's art style and beautiful color palette being fed into an AI algorithm and used to produce MAGA propaganda. I came up with the idea. I put the prompts in. Okay. Slop like this is quite literally destroying our environments. It is depleting our accessibility to fresh water. According to earthcounts.com, we have just over 13 years left of accessible fresh water on the planet. On the planet. And before anyone's like, oh, well, we'll still have drinking water because we decontaminate drinking water. That's not the point. Fresh water. You realize fresh water isn't the same as decontaminated, recycled water. We're talking about like things that animals live in. Fresh water that creatures and plants and minerals grow in. And the thing is, I'd probably have a better sense of humor about all of this because, you know, I'm the woker, but I'd probably have like a better sense of humor about all of this if it wasn't destroying our planet. I will always take imperfect, human-made slop art, voice acting over AI. I will take 1,000,001 Ghost Stories dubs, which to be fair are just amazing, but I will take 1,000,001 of those. I will take 1,000,001 terribly drawn animes. I'll take a ton of blue lock PNG movements across the screen over AI. AI kind of just feels dead behind the eyes when you see it. It is soulless. But I guess let me know what you think down below. What do you think of these anime trailers? Do you find them funny? Have you watched them? Have they convinced you or fooled you that a new series or movie is coming out? What do you think of the overall impact of AI? And of course, what do you think about the animation industry and using AI? A lot of people seem to think that AI as an artist themselves is only going to be beneficial. And I guess maybe because I'm not an artist in the same way as a tattoo artist or an animator is, I don't have that perspective, but I can't help but feel like I can't see the benefit. I think it's very short-sighted. But again, that's why I want you to discuss down below your thoughts on AI. I've discussed it quite a lot on my channel. I've talked about AI slop at conventions. I've talked about AI cosplayers. I'm gonna try and do less videos on AI because I know we're getting a bit fatigued with it. I'm getting a bit fatigued with it. But I had this video idea literally last year, I think, like since like last June, and I just kind of sat on it like nearly a year now. So, you know, I thought I may as well make it finally, but it is one of those things where I just don't get it. Like it just comes off as such a soulless cash grab to me. But I suppose it's easier to say that because I don't like it. I don't know. And as always, I want to give a big thank you and big old wet smooch to my beautiful patrons. Everything from the casual tier to the otaku tier and the Oshi tier, with our Oshi tier members being Nina Hopkins, Falky Gone Missing, Lucy, Shy Raw, Harakivo, Danny16, Sweet Misery, Meryl Lyram, The Galmar, X-Lace_Zale, Cielo Armonia, Neon Ferris Wheel, Florenciaga, and finally Cora Kitty. And as always, obviously, our beautiful otaku tier patrons as well. We've had a few more join. Thank you very much. When you join on Patreon, especially with the otaku and Oshi tiers, you'll get access to exclusive behind the scenes and even extra content. The most recent one being a full over hour-long reaction video as I watch these trailers in real time. You've seen a couple clips through this video, but it's a whole thing. But you know, I think it's a great way of kind of doing some Patreon exclusive content, but also allowing people to see my thought process as I myself am getting into the research of my content. But I've got panels from some of the conventions that I've been guesting at. I have the one up from AkumaCon, which I'm actually going to try and make into a full video at some point as well, because I think the topic is really interesting. And so yeah, if you'd like to see extra behind the scenes content, support what I do, and obviously have your your name on screen or shouted out at the end of my videos, and potentially in the middle of videos as well, depending on how I want to edit up in future, then please consider subscribing over on Patreon. But of course, the easiest and cheapest way to support me and what I do is literally engaging with the video. Comment down below, like the video, save the video, start a conversation, share it to a friend, and of course subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an upload. There's also this new thing called the hype feature. Again, I think it helps push your video in the algorithm, I don't know, but consider using the hype feature. And again, another great way of helping me as well is literally just like leave my videos yapping in the background while you do your dishes, draw, tidy the house. I saw somebody rollerblading on my stories the other day. Someone was learning how to rollerblade. Tell me how that went. Because you had my video in the background, you were learning to rollerblade. That does just help support me in what I do, and I really do appreciate it. Now it's time for the end of the video, outfit check and some of your amazing fan art. Bye! Can you tell that I was out drinking last night? Hello, it is time for the end of the video, outfit check. And today is a little bit more of a unique outfit. I've actually built this up with multiple pieces, so I will talk you through everything I have. So on the top of my head, we have these horns. These are actually Vivian Westwood horns from The World's End. I love these horns, but my original pair actually broke, and so I ended up getting this pair from one of my friends recently, and so my horns are now finally back, because I used to wear these a lot, but I think my original pair I actually bought secondhand anyway, and so they probably weren't in the best condition. So I'm glad that I have a pair that should, fingers crossed, stay fine. And then I'm wearing these little tiny fuck ass Ozzy Osbourne glasses, which I am surprised I love as much as I do, but I just feel like they go really well with outfits like this. I feel like Alucard a little bit, like with the tiny little cunty glasses. But I got these in Harajuku. I can't remember which store it was. It was one of the kind of first stores that you see on Takashi Todori. And I do believe you could probably get these on AliExpress realistically, but I got mine in Harajuku. But you can literally just pause the video, take a screenshot, and then search them on AliExpress and you'll probably find them. Then around my neck, it is pretty much all entirely Vivian Westwood. So we have this Vivian Westwood little necklace here. We have this angel type crucifix razor blade necklace here. I don't know if they sell this anymore, but it's one of my favorite necklaces, just like a little tiny razor blade crucifix, very cunty. And then I also have my normal kind of small Vivian Westwood orb. I think this was the first piece of Vivian Westwood I ever actually bought for myself. So it is a special item to me, although it is missing one or two gems. And now for the rest of the outfit. So this blouse is from Zara originally, but I got it when I was in Japan, a book off for like £3. I really like this little blouse. It's a really nice, just like basic little piece. And the reason I like it is because you can then build it up, as I've done today, because then I have this kind of little stretchy, like corseted top. So it's got a little corset here, but then this is just kind of a nice stretchy thing, which is perfect for me because I've got a bigger chest, and I find that anything that has restrictive cup sizing whilst trying to juggle shoulder width and waist always comes up a bit weird on me, because I've got a big chest, broad shoulders, but then a pretty small waist. So this works perfectly. I'm so glad I got this off Vinted. I think it was originally an Urban Outfitters item, but I paid like £5 for it, I think, on Vinted. Very, very nice, very cute. And then this skirt right here, I got when I was in Japan last June, and it is by the brand, I think it's Mahou. It is a kind of gothic Lolita, gothic kind of adjacent brand. You can find it in La Ferrée. However, I will say, for as much as I love this skirt very, very much, and I do love it very much, I will say, the brand, or at least the brand owner, has been very pro-Israel, and so I personally will not be buying anything brand new from that brand again, because I don't feel comfortable. So I'm not telling you to go buy from them, I'm just saying where it's from, but if you can find it secondhand, then I do recommend it. That is the outfit tour for today. Check out the amazing artists that I've been showing alongside, and I'll see you in my next video, which should be a J fashion video or something similar as well, because it's been a while and I want to talk about J fashion again because I miss it. I'm sick of anime.